My name is Ryan, and my wife and I have been attending the Village Church for a little over 3 years now. We moved out here from the West Coast to pursue a soccer career out here. You know, a soccer career will maybe go until you're 30, 35 years old, somewhere in that range. And then we have a lot of years after that we're excited to do ministry. One of the steps in kind of that process was this training program, and not only just learning knowledge that I can share with others, which I think was my mindset going in, but I think what the training program did that I wasn't expecting was it began to show me like these things, and this knowledge that I was learning was really for me and for my own love of Jesus and my own love of who this God is of the Bible. And a lot of that came from me just not really understanding a lot of scripture and thinking I did. I thought I knew things that I didn't. And as I began to know the true God of the Bible and understand his real nature, not just these things that I had assumed, I began to just fall more in love with who God is. Fast forward about 8 months later, that night it was snowing and the roads were all icy. The car in front of us got into its own accident and slammed into the median. So we pulled over, I got out, ran up the road to get the driver out of the car and out of the middle of the road. I'm trying to figure out if everything's okay, and while we're talking, a car comes flying through the shoulder and hits two of us and sent me flying about 30 feet down the highway. And then I landed on the concrete and just couldn't move anything. No part of my body could move. And so I sat there for about 30 seconds just thinking I was paralyzed. We're sitting on the bed in the hospital, and the doctor comes in. He says, "I got bad news. You've broken 3 bones in your neck." And immediately when I hear broken neck, I think, okay, I've lost some sort of function. I'm either paralyzed to some degree, or I'm just not going to make a full recovery. And all of these thoughts are running through my head, but I'm trying to filter them through, like, what do I believe about God? What do I believe about who Jesus is? That God's in control of everything, that he is working from Genesis to Revelation, all things for his glory and for our good. And there's rocks and there's bumps. And so I'm trying to know that stuff and tell it to my heart and proclaim it over myself as I'm sitting there thinking I may not be able to play soccer ever again. I may not be able to provide for my family in the way that I have for the last couple years. So the doctor then proceeds to say, that means 6 to 10 weeks of recovery, and we think you'll make a full recovery. The Lord was kind of already working in that, in protecting me from the crash, protecting me even as I'm sitting there in the hospital, protecting my heart from these thoughts that are running astray. And it was finally the first time, I guess not the first time, but a major time that I was able to put to the test what I had learned in my theology. There's an answer to be had in scripture. And so the Lord was just gracious to me, gracious to my family, and we're so thankful for it.